So, Tamara, tell us your dating dilemma.
Yeah, I am a single mom. I was married and we separated, and we've separated 3 years ago. Our divorce went final last year, and I just started dating again. I have two children, 4 and 6, and I don't necessarily know how to navigate dating with children. And like, obviously, I keep it like compartmentalized right now,
Hmm.
but at what point, when you find someone that you're like, okay, this is a viable person, they check out, they're safe, they're all this, at what point do you bring the kids into the equation, or when do you not?
Yeah, it's really, 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 really good question. Where's dad?
Dad is local. Yeah.
Okay, is dad involved?
Yes, he now is involved. The first 2 years, we had a very contentious divorce,
Mm.
very high, uh, heavily in the courts, and he did not have rights for 2 years. And then last
Really?
fall, yeah,
How did he lose his rights to his own kids? What did he do?
um, hmm, he, we mutually agreed to report to CPS, and he's in the military, so he self-reported to the military on sexual abuse against the children.
Oh, wow. Okay. And but
Yeah.
now he is
So
involved.
so now he's involved, um, and yeah,
Okay.
so he's more involved now. When we were, because it was such a long and horrible process, obviously the kids were with
Okay.
me for 2.5 years, and we kind of had time to transition and get normal, and then
Okay.
he
Are
got
th- are
right.
are the kids normal with him now in terms of that's dad and they connect with him, and or is it still really? I mean, after sexual abuse and that early, and they're still young, how normal is it?
Um, Great question. I would say they're doing the best they can. I think my daughter connects with dad and is totally unaffected. She'll be 5 soon, and my son more affected by dad. Overall, I'd say he's doing well. He has been in therapy. He was in therapy for 2 years, and then he is not in therapy right now, but he wants to see a counselor still. So
Okay.
he's a very thoughtful, almost 7-year old. And so I think there's just conversations that he always wants to have. But I think overall, they're excited to see dad. I think that is in
Okay.
a healthy context right now. So we have worked
Okay.
through
Now,
a lot.
it sounds like it. It sounds like it. Obviously, you've done some amazing work to facilitate all that happening. So let me tell you where I start with that. One of the big problems with a divorce with kids is that kids it's a big loss, right, on multiple
Yeah.
levels. And so, especially if they don't have the other parent, right? There's that vacuum.
Hmm.
And so naturally kids, they have a hunger for whoever they don't have. It's either mom or dad, but they have a hunger for one of those. I want one of those, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
and so sometimes when people start dating and there is that big vacuum, then the person comes in for a little while and the kid's going to develop an attachment, especially if they're really involved, and especially if they're treated well by this person. And then the
Hmm.
relationship doesn't go the distance and they've lost another one. And then they've lost another one.
Right.
And then they've lost another one. And so I think that that's a secondary question. Okay. And we're going to get to it. But the
Okay.
primary question is what doesn't go away for these kids. Okay. Now, here's what I mean by that. I want these kids to have some really, really, really good, close, involved, love them male figures in their life, uncles,
Hmm.
buddies of yours, grandparent, whoever, that
Mhm.
that aren't going to go away. You're not going to date them, right? But
Right.
that literally aren't going to go away. And whoever comes and goes in the dating world, that's not going to be their primary look to for who they draw this, stuff they're needing from having good, male love in their lives. Okay. So that's what I would want you to concentrate on first, is making sure that
Okay.
they have a few of those people. Okay. Now that'll mitigate against all the other sides of the dating question. So here's my answer to this. Um, I think that um, if, especially, kind of at that age, if you're dating, and you're dating meaning, you go and you sort of like the way that I propose dating should be. You're going out with a lot of different people, and you're going to lunches, and you're going to dinners, and you're going to, I don't know how you do all this in COVID, but whatever it is you do,
Mhm.
then that's kind of, with these kids, that's kind of out there, and it's kind of casual, right? And so if
Mhm.
they ever were to come into the circle, it would still be in the early stages. So casual, it'd be like, oh, this is my friend, you know? Now, when it
Mhm.
gets a little goofier is when that friend shows up more than all the other friends. And really, that friend now lives on our couch. And that friend now is. And so I would really make a qualitative distinction between, in your head, making sure that somebody, whoever you're dating, doesn't enter into their heads in any sort of secondary category, that they're more than friends. This is mom's squeeze, right?
Right.
And I would avoid that happening until you're pretty sure it's going the distance. And that doesn't mean they can't
Okay.
relate to people you date and do stuff with them. You just don't want them losing again. That's
Mhm.
basically the deal. Does that help?
Yep. That's so helpful. Makes complete sense.
Yeah, and you can find out if
So
somebody's good with kids by hey, we're all going to the park today with my buddy. Now, and now while your kids are on the merry-go-round, don't be making out with your buddy in front of them, because that's
no.
they're going to go, oh, that's kind of keep it
Can
friendly,
I
right?
what I hear you say is that as long as it's casual, it's not as invasive to kids as in bringing around, like, if a guy, even if it's not in a romantic sense, but if he's like a best friend, all of a sudden he's taking up more space in their lives. So keeping it
With
casual, and that's fine because kids meet people all the time and they walk in
and
and
they
out
meet people all
or
the time,
whatever.
and I don't mind friends deep and they're in their lives, because they're not going away. You're not going to
Yeah.
break up with a friend.
Right. Right.
Okay. One of the things I'm
Yep. That makes
so grateful for with my kids, is that our adult community, the kids, they grew up with so many, just our friends over all the time, involved all the time, our small group, the neighborhood we lived in, just so many adults, like, present in their lives that love them and are committed to them, that there never was
mhm.
any risk that they were going to go away. And
Yeah.
that's the main thing you want for them. Okay.
100%. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you and good luck. Get my book, How to Get a Date Worth Keeping.
Ted.
Okay. Because there's two dating problems. One is you're not getting enough dates. So therefore, how to get a date, or you're getting them and they suck. They're not worth keeping. I mean,
How do you
long term,
one one
long term.
one quick
So
question?
you gotta,
How do you
you gotta do both.
and you might address this in the book, growing up in church culture and not having this casual dating mindset, how do you go into, and I have a therapist, he's trying to instruct me to just meet a ton of different people
Yes.
and just, but in my
I
head
love your
it's going
therapist. I love
out
your therapist.
it's
Tell
going
him
against my inner
I love it.
what I was trained to do is you look at a date and you're
What
like,
did
look at marriage. But like, and I try to have mental boundaries and I try to,
it's
okay,
so
this is
okay,
fun, but it's
look,
hard.
even the granddaddy of all that, Joshua Harris, is the one that wrote the book.
Yeah. He,
You probably have
yes,
run
he
into that.
refuted his. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's how I grew up.
well, I'm sorry. I mean,
Yeah.
he's coming out all these years later and said, you know, and God bless him for doing this. I really had so much respect for him when he did this. He
So
said, you know
much.
what, I was wrong. I was wrong.
Mhm.
It's great.
I mean, he was young
But
too.
it
So
what's that?
he was young when he wrote the book. So
Exactly. But I respect him for what he did. We had a
totally.
long
Me
talk
too.
about it.
Me too.
Really
But
nice
it's
guy.
the
But so
relearning
okay,
a
but
mindset of dating and
keep
not
that in your
doing
head. But
marriage.
hold on. Keep that in your head. When you have that thing that, oh, I shouldn't be doing this thing, and went, wait a minute, the guy that taught me that said it's okay. Just try that. Okay.
Okay.
But
Okay.
please expand your pool past your church. You know, and all the research I did for this book, and I've seen so many people, you know, end up getting in good relationships and getting married as a result of working that program. And they all come back and tell me, and it like 99 point some, I don't know what the right number is. Basically, nobody really finds that person at church.
Right.
It just rarely happens. You find them by the other ways I talk about in the book, getting involved in life. Okay.
Right.
I
Okay.
appreciate your
Thank you.
call. God bless you, and I hope it goes well.